feels like rendezvous. You know what to do. Keep your love for me only. I get high on you.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited for this video because I feel like it's just gonna be like really fun. So yesterday I was at Five Below and I saw that they had this like huge makeup selection of like Wet n Wild, LA Color, City Chic, all these different like brands. Some of them I haven't heard before. They had like a whole crap ton of eyeshadow palettes and like all this stuff. So I bought an entire bag of makeup, tools, like makeup brushes, sponges, and everything I would need to do a full face of makeup because I'm really curious to see like, can you get decent makeup at a really good price? So all of this stuff, well, if you're not familiar with Five Below, everything at Five Below is $5 and under. Most of the stuff was like $2.99, $1.99, $3, somewhere around there. So I'm like super excited. Also, I knew that Wet n Wild had made their own brushes, but I had never come across them before, so I bought some of their brushes. I have some beauty blender sponges. So I'm like really excited to see like what we can come up with. I also have lashes. Like we're doing this. So I'm gonna unbox everything and then come right back. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna start with is primer, but these sponges are called the Pro Line by My Beauty Spot Beauty Sponges. You get 3 of them. They're all different shapes, if you can see in there. The top one is the one that looks most like the Beauty Blender, so I'm gonna use that one. And it says that you can use them wet or dry. So I'm gonna go wet this. I'm curious to see how these feel because typically, when you try to like do like a fake Beauty Blender, they're always really hard and dense. Yeah, this one seems to be pretty hard too. They feel like rubber. Like they're not soft and airy, they're more dense and very like I'm having to push kind of hard to get the bounce, but I'm gonna go wet it and see if maybe that changes the texture. All right, so right off the bat, it did not get any bigger in size. You guys know how beauty blenders like really expand when you get them wet. This one did not expand at all. It's still really like rubbery. Listen, can you hear that? Like beauty blenders, they don't make that noise. Like they're just soft. So it smells like rubber too. Okay, I'm not gonna judge it until we try it, but first I'm gonna put primer on. So I picked up the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Face Primer in matte. Looks like this. This looks very similar to like the Milani one. I'm curious to see if it's like a silicone based primer or more like lotion. Oh, okay, it's more like lotion. It feels good. It feels a little thick. Oh, it kind of burns. Ow, it's kind of burning. Okay, it's burning a little bit. Not bad, but I have sensitive skin already, so. Okay, I'm gonna let it get a little bit tacky before I put the foundation on. Feels like a moisturizer. It doesn't have that like silicone feel to it. It just kind of feels like a lightweight moisturizer. So we shall see. The foundation that I found was the Wet n Wild Cover All Cream Foundation in the shade Fair. This was like the lightest shade that I could find. They did not have a very good shade selection, and this was also the only foundation that I found throughout all the different brands that were there. I have a shirt on. I know it looks like I'm naked, but I have a shirt. So I actually picked up the Wet n Wild foundation brush to apply this with. e.l.f. makes a very similar brush that's like a flat topped brush like this. This one feels a little bit less dense than the e.l.f. one. I actually really like the e.l.f. brush like this. This one feels just a little bit less dense. The bristles are very soft though, and then it's not shedding a lot, so that's good. So, all right. Yeah, this is not really getting tacky, but it did matte my face down. I don't know if you can tell that, but it definitely matted my skin down a little bit. Okay. So I'm gonna put it directly on the brush. I'm gonna use that much so far. Here we go. Okay, so it's a little bit too light. Not bad though. I'm not loving this brush. Ooh, girl, it is really white. We definitely are gonna need to bronze. And again, it's kind of tingling my skin. It almost feels like it has like a cooling effect, but it's definitely not supposed to. So I think that's just my sensitive skin. Ew, this is so bad. I look like, I don't even know what. This brush is terrible. It's like I put the product down and then I go to blend it in, and I don't know. Here, I'm gonna use it. Oh my god, I'm gonna do it. But the brush is just like picking it up and moving it. It's not really blending it in. Oh my god, guys, this is bad. All right, I need some more. Let me try stippling it. All right, I'm gonna try the Beauty Blender sponge. And that's eating up the product as well. It's completely eating up the product. It's really hard. Like, all right, we just need to put this on. Just put this on. All right, so it's not, it's terrible. What am I trying to say? Okay, so the coverage I would say is light. I'm gonna see if I can build it up. I'm using a lot of product and not getting that much coverage, but let's see. Yeah, this is, look, okay, so it does cover more when you build it up, but it just is not blending in nicely at all. Like, this looks awful. I don't know if it's the brush or if it's the foundation, but and it kind of tingles, like it kind of burns a little. Okay, I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you can see what my skin looks like. So it's not terrible, but it definitely has looked a lot better. It's not really covering a lot. Like, I can still see my freckles and pimple poking through, especially down here. Okay, let's move on to the concealer. So overall, I would say so far foundation is a no-go. The Wet n Wild Cover All Cream Foundation, no, definitely not. And the same with the brush. The brush is not very good. And e.l.f. has one, the same kind of style, same price, and it's pretty good. So don't get that. Okay, the concealer that I bought is the Photo Focus Concealer by Wet n Wild in the shade Light Ivory. Looks like this. So let's give this a try. Okay, so the concealer is darker than the foundation. It's more yellow. And I'm needing to like get more on my brush every a few seconds. I mean, and this stuff is like cheap, but it's not like it's like 50 cents, $1 cheap. I mean, it's still like $2.99, $3.99. Pretty comparable to like e.l.f. prices, so I would probably say that e.l.f. so far is much better. All right, let me try to blend this out. I'm gonna put it down my nose, my chin, my forehead. And then after I blend this out, the powder that I found is by LA Colors. It's a loose setting powder in the shade Natural. This is the only shade they had, and it seems to be darker than the foundation that I'm wearing. So, I don't know. Okay, so it's kind of disappearing into the sponge. And I don't know that any of it is actually getting on my skin. Oh my god. Okay, so the coverage is not terrible on this, actually. Probably more like a medium coverage. It did cover up my circle, but it kind of disrupted the foundation underneath it. And that is always the problem with these kind of sponges. When they're too hard, you can't really get like a good bounce, and it doesn't really it doesn't disperse the product nicely, and it just ends up picking up all the product underneath it as well. So I would say this is probably the sponge's fault. But the coverage on that is not bad. That's like a medium, you know, a light to medium coverage concealer. All right, I'm gonna immediately set with powder. Oh boy. The powder is a lot darker than my foundation. However, the powder itself feels nice. Doesn't feel like too cakey. This is really bad, guys. Oh my god. Okay, so I dusted this side away to see if the color would kind of just like go away, but it is staying. Okay, I'm gonna set the rest of my face with the powder. This is the Wet n Wild powder brush, by the way. It's very orange. This is not natural. The shade is called natural. This looks like orange creamsicle. What the fuck? There's so much kickback with it, but oh, okay. So the powder itself is making my skin look pretty flawless. Now the color is really off. It's very orange. It's like a bronzing powder, but like the way it works is not bad. That being said, I do not recommend that powder at all for setting your under eyes. If you can find your shade, I mean, it's a decent powder for $2.99. Except I'm choking on it. So that doesn't look terrible. Like, I feel like I've seen worse. I definitely look very orange. This powder is very orange. And that was the lightest shade they had as far as like I saw. However, my skin does look pretty flawless considering how it looked with just the foundation. Like, the powder really helped to fill in the pores and like even out some of the streakiness. It's just the color is really wrong. I think I'm gonna do brows next, and this product I'm actually kind of excited to try. It looks very similar to like the Anastasia Beverly Hills pencil. It's the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Retractable Brow Pencil. I got the shade Dark Brown. It just looks like a regular pencil. On one side you have the pencil, which again looks very similar to the Anastasia Beverly Hills one as far as like the shape. And then on this side you have a spoolie. So let's see how this goes, because I have high hopes for this. Yeah, I like this. It's a little waxy, but that's not bad at all. That is not a bad eyebrow pencil. You guys already know that I like love the e.l.f. eyebrow pencil. And I think I like the e.l.f. one a little bit better because this one just feels like it has a lot of wax in it, but it's not bad. The color is nice. You don't have to push very hard for it to come out. All right, I'm gonna move on to eyeshadow. And the eyeshadow palette, they had a bunch of eyeshadow palettes. Like, they had like a lot of like the Naked palette knockoffs by Urban Decay. They had a bunch of palettes, but this one, I really like the packaging. It is called Rosy Nudes. So it looks like this. Let me take the plastic off of it. But it has like a pretty nice shade range in there. I'm only going to be using the brush that it comes with. So pray for me. That is what the palette looks like. That looks nice to me. Like, that doesn't look bad at all. But we'll see how the pigmentation is. The brush that you get with it is one of those like basic eyelash applicators that nobody should ever use. And then on the other side you have an angled brush, which is kind of strange, but those are the only brushes we're going to use today. I think I'm going to use this shade, a mixture of these two shades on the lid. They're like a nice shimmery pink. Oh my god, guys, I haven't used one of these eyeshadow applicators in like, I mean, probably like 12 years. It's very chunky, but not bad. The color is there. Definitely not as shimmery as it is in the pan, but the color is there. So I'm putting that pink shade all over my lid, and then I'm gonna add the lighter pink right to the center. But that color pigment is not terrible. Wow. Okay, let's add some of this lighter shade in the middle. I'm gonna use this angled brush as a crease brush, I guess, and take this brown here. Oh boy. Okay, so the pigmentation is not bad at all. I'm actually kind of impressed. I was expecting it to be like one of those eyeshadows that has like no pigmentation to it. Like, they're really setting you up for failure with this thing, I swear to God they are. All right, let me add a little darkness to the outer corner. The good old finger blend. When in doubt, use your fingers. Don't even use this thing, just use your fingers, because this is a hot ass mess. Okay, I'm gonna add the white to the inner corners. It's like a shimmery champagne color. I think that's as good as it's gonna get, guys. Let me wipe this fallout away. Okay. I don't think that's too terrible. I mean, I'm not like jumping for joy with it, but I don't think it's like god awful. So now the mascara that I picked up was the Wet n Wild Mega Volume Mascara in this tube right here. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try. I do have lashes too, but they honestly look like plastic. So my hopes are not up too high for those. Let's try the lashes now. So I picked up the Wet n Wild lashes. This is the only style that they had in the store. I'm gonna be using the glue that it comes with as well. Please say a silent prayer as we go to put these on. So it's a clear glue, which I've never seen before. The only glue that I've ever used is Duo and House of Lashes, and the Duo glue is white when it's the clear one, and the other one's black when it's a dark tone one. And the House of Lashes one is also white. So this one is literally clear, if you can see it right there. I'm gonna try to measure these to my eye. The glue's also very, very watery. Oh my God, they're not sticking. Every time you try to get one corner, the other corner pops up. This is just not sticking at all. Okay, I'm gonna try my own glue, which is the Duo glue, and see if we can get these lashes to stick or if it's just gonna be a fail. That, I think, is the best we're gonna get with these lashes. I'm gonna do bronzer next. Again, I got a Wet n Wild bronzer. This is Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Palette Contour in Dulce de Leche. And it also has a light, like, highlighting powder, like a matte highlighting powder. I can't open it. Okay. So I'm hoping I can put this kind of underneath my eyes and it can bring some life back. So I don't have another brush. Well, I have a bronzing brush, but I don't have another like powder brush. So I'm gonna use an e.l.f. brush, which is another very affordable brush. And it looks like this for the light powder. I should have set my eyes with this. All these powders are very like, they just go everywhere. Like you put your brush in and it just kicks back so much powder. All right, let's do the bronzer now. This is the brush. It is the contour brush by Wet n Wild. So I'm going to use the bronzer side. Not bad. This is not bad. I'm going back a bunch of times, but that is a nice shade. Wow, I actually probably would use this again. That kind of saved the look, I feel. Brought some dimension back to the face. The powder also helped to brighten up the under eye area. For blush, I have the Wet n Wild Color Icon Ombre Blush in the color Princess Daiquiris, which is like a really nice kind of like pinky. It's very light. All right, I'm gonna use the same brush that I used to bronze for blush. All right, so I'm not getting much color off of this. Let me see. Very light color. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting much more color off of that. You guys know I'm a blush girl and this is just not hitting it for me. All right, whatever. For highlight, now I've heard like amazing things about this highlight. It's the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in Precious Petals. Packaging looks like this. I've heard so many things about this highlighter, that everyone loves it, that it's like amazing. So let's give this a try. Oh yeah, it is really pretty. Just in the packaging. I'm gonna use my finger. Okay. All right, so when applied with my finger, I am getting some color payoff. Oh wow, yeah, I am. A lot. That actually is a really pretty glow. All right, now for the lipstick, let's see how this is. Okay, that's not terrible. That gave off a lot of good coverage. I don't love the color. I was thinking it was gonna be a little bit more like pinky nude. This is more orangey brown, but it's drying down. It's very thin too, so it doesn't feel thick. It's drying down to a matte. All right guys, so this is the final look. Overall, I would say there were definitely a couple of misses, a lot more misses than hits, but there were a couple of hits. I would say that I really liked, number one, this powder brush was really nice. I also liked this bronzing duo, or contour duo, as I just gouged it, whoops. This highlight's really pretty too. This is the Precious Petal highlight. And honestly, this LA Girls powder was not bad. It saved my foundation a lot. Like my foundation actually looks okay now. Like I would be okay with leaving the house with the foundation on, because this powder really helped to blend it out and make it look a lot more airbrushed and flawless. Now the color was definitely off. However, I think in the end it kind of all worked out with the bronzer and everything else. Lashes, definite miss. Eyeshadow was not terrible. If you're in a pinch and you need a nice cheap eyeshadow, that was not a bad palette. The color is there, you can see it. It did blend pretty nicely when I did my fingers. Eyebrow pencil was really nice. Loved the eyebrow pencil. And the concealer wasn't terrible either. So overall, not bad, not bad. So if you guys are ever interested in any more of these videos, definitely give me a thumbs up so I know to continue making them for you. I love you all so, so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.